What is happening, guys? A long overdue video. I know, Milzzy, you said you're going to be uploading weekly videos. It was a hectic last few weeks. Eventful. I copped the flu a few times. Yes, that flu. But anyways, in this video, guys, I'm going to be running you guys through one of my push days, my chest focused or biased push day. I'm going to run you guys why I position certain exercises in certain position within the workout, and then I'll run you guys also through some delt work and triceps during the day. Alright guys, so for the first movement of the push day, we're going to be doing a Nautilus vertical press. Starting off a little warm up. With this one here, we're going to be running the mid pec fibers and the costal through a mid to short range. So this is where I was talking about how positioning certain movements to work in our strengths. At the start of a workout, we have more energy. So this is where we want to predominantly focus on placing movements, which is going to be the hardest in that mid to short range. And then as we fatigue that, that's when we go into that lengthen range as well. So with warm-ups, how I like to do it, the first warm-up, for the first exercise at least, the first warm-up, you're looking something around like 10, 12 reps, building no fatigue, super lightweight. Second warm-up, you're looking somewhere between like 5 or 6 reps, a little bit close to that first working set. And the third warm-up, the one before the all-out working set, I want to do like 1 or 2 reps, something pretty close to that working set, just to feel how that weight feels on that day. Sometimes like if I feel a niggle or something on that 1 or 2 reps, I might drop the weight a little bit and go for a little bit higher rep count on that first working set. Yeah, so like this one, third warm up, so I'm just gonna do 1 or 2 reps, feel it out. Felt actually pretty easier. I've been also jumping off caffeine since that moment happened where I took the new pre-workout kamikaze and it smacked me. And I've actually kind of realized my training sessions have improved in the terms of, I'm such a stim junkie. I do like to be caffeinated. I drink a lot of coffee. And now I feel like my focus is a bit more clearer. I'm not overly stimulated. Sometimes you like that feeling where you just want to go in there, smash it out. But sometimes within like the main compounds and stuff like that, it does take away from your lift. Sometimes being over too stimulated is not the correct thing. And that's why the rest of the cut, I'm pretty much only going to utilize it on the days where I just feel like absolute dog shit. I feel like I'm in the slumps in the trenches, and that's when I'm going to really utilize pre-workout to give me a little bit out of that hole. Alright guys, so first all-out working set. I like to do my top set and then a back-off set. So top set, I'm aiming something between like a 6 to 9 rep range. And then we'll go into a second working set where I do a little bit higher rep range, something between like 8 to 16. You can go a little bit higher, but I do get pretty exhausted pretty quick. My endurance is definitely not at the spot I'd want it to be, so I do like to keep it still a little bit shorter. So here we go. And with this one as well, something I do really tell a lot of people, I have really bad shoulder mobility. So sometimes getting to the first position is a little bit harder. You're putting your shoulder sockets in such a compromised position where it's required to utilize so much more energy to be able to start the first lift. So what I like to do is position myself at the top and then leverage my body's movement down to push the handles out as well for the first rep. Oh. We can be together in this moment could last forever. I say that you and I have found a piece of heaven. So I pray we can be together one day. I think I got 9 reps there, which I'm happy with. When you go into a fat loss phase, yes, the goal is always to try and increase the lift either through weight or reps. But I'm in a position right now where I'm in a fat loss phase where it's not going to be possible sometimes for some sessions where it does go up. So my main goal is to be able to maintain an average of the lifts. And I pretty much just did the first working set. So now we're gonna have like a 3-minute break. My rest times do usually go a little bit higher, so I can give my all out to that second set as well. So I'm not like fatigued in any way. And then we'll go a little bit higher rep range. All right guys, so back off set. Drop the weight roughly around 20% of that first working set, aiming for a little bit of a higher rep range. With your lifts also, don't get too stuck on weight and reps. Do try and make the actual, every rep, the highest quality you can. Make it harder on yourself. You've probably heard the term, you can make a 10 kilo dumbbell feel like a 50 kilo dumbbell. Spending more time in the eccentric. Getting a pause at the bottom as well. That's the first movement done. So we train that chest, the mid, and that lower, the costal pec fibers through our mid to short range. And now we're going to move into an incline, the clavicle, pec fibers, the upper region with the cable press. So I'll meet you guys there. All right guys, so for the next movement, we're going to be doing an incline, so the clavicle pec fibers cable press. I usually did program, well I was programming like a machine incline press. And my shoulders have been giving me a bit of a niggle. I feel it in my left shoulder when I do the incline press machines. And I started doing the cable and it's kind of alleviated it. With this one, do be cautious, but don't get too hungry and increase the weight too quick, as your shoulder is going to be doing a lot of stabilization here as well. But an amazing workout. You can bias, so at start, we're going to be focusing on that short range of the clavicle fibers, mid to short range. We're going to be closer, faced towards the cable. Then as we come closer to failure, like 2 to 3 reps short of failure, then we're going to turn away from the cable and we're going to be training that pec through a lengthened range as well. So you can kind of change your body position to be able to adjust where the load is going to be predominant on. So for this one, we're going to make sure that the cable is in line with our arm here. Keeping our chest high, holding onto something to be able to stabilize ourselves as much as we can. Also one thing, with like the push days, I do 2 push days a week. One's at chest focused. That's where majority of, as the name says, the focus is going to be on the chest. The chest exercises, because we do 3 of them, compared to one shoulder, they're only going to be 2 working sets per exercise, especially when we're going into a fat loss phase deeper into the deficit. We want to keep the volume down so our recoverability, our overall recovery doesn't get impeded too much. Whereas something like in the growth phase, that's when we can add in intensifiers, additional volume escalation through sets and stuff like that, so doing like 3-4 sets. 4 sets sometimes, and some exercises like accessory work. But yeah, for now, all our chest movements here are going to be 2 sets, a top set, heavier set, and then a back off set, a higher rep range for lighter weight. And then when we move into the shoulders, that's where we do a little bit more extra volume. We're going to be doing 3 sets. And then when we do the other push day, the shoulder focused, we kind of switch it over. Chest gets like 3 sets, and the shoulder movements get 2 working sets. Still guys, we're not stopping. We're still using intra-workout supplements, some cyclic dextrin and some amino acids, even through a fat loss phase. As performance is always important, especially the deeper we go into the deficit, our performance does tend to drop because less energy, less food and stuff like that. So this is where it still does become a massive play within our nutrition. So that's the first movement, mid to short range. Then we did an incline, the clavicle fibers, the upper region of the chest. We did, well, we started first that mid to shorter range, then we moved up and positioned our body to hit that length and range. Now we move into something of a fly movement, and we're gonna do a costal pec fly on the Nautilus machine. Now with this one, if we want to be the most optimal, we'd get like a half foam roller. You can get ones from like Amazon, they're cut in half. You can position it on the back pad. So our scapula can actually retract across it and get a little bit more of a lengthened position. But what I like to do as well is kind of position my back to be main force with the pad is our T-spine, and lean in a little bit forward. So you can get a bit more of a length and range there. Considering, like, imagine like you're here, you're kind of stuck. The back pad is holding you. But if you lean a little bit forward, you get a bit more of a length and range. It's a bit nerve-wracking now. There's a lot of people. But that's the whole thing. You gotta get out of your comfort zone sometimes, guys. I've been wanting to do this for so fucking long. Just document my journey, create content. But I was just held back, which is like, what are other people gonna think? People are gonna judge me and shit like that. But at the end of the day, man, none of these guys are gonna pay our fucking bills. None of them give a fuck, really. They might speak about you for 5-10 minutes, but an hour after, they're not even fucking thinking about you. So follow your dreams, guys. I know it's a bit cliche for me to say, but you hear it all the time. Just literally follow your dreams. Fuck what anyone thinks. Just literally get it out there. Do what you fucking want. Take that risk. Life without risks is, in my opinion, a life where you're just kind of stuck in the same shit. You're not going to be able to actually live life to full potential. That made sense, maybe not. I don't know. But yeah. The second working set went a little bit lighter. Once again, not positioned here. Rolling a little bit so we get a bit of a lengthened position.
Sun fading, sky gazing, stars are the jewels of the night, hidden behind the horizon, into the moonlight, into the moonlight. We were chosen, hearts are frozen. We were chosen, hearts are frozen. In time, in time, in time, in time. Once upon a time, and fame was all we were. We were dreamers, free and fearless. The world would never sweet take
That's it for chest. And now we move on to some shoulder movement, shoulder laterals. Let me get some handles. All right, guys. So now we move into a shoulder lateral, one of my favorite shoulder lateral machines I've ever used, the Life Fitness. It just feels very smooth, and the load is pretty evenly distributed across the whole range. And now you might ask, why the fuck do I have D handles? Most optimal JPG, this, that, D handles, what the fuck am I using it for? Now, if the handles, something that Luke Miller was talking about, is when you grip, you don't have to use handles, you can just grip, make a fist out of your palm. It does run through and actually cause extra stability within the shoulder socket. But I like to use D handles. It gives me a little bit more, something to just grip onto. Big boss man, it's cracking, bro. Nah, it's all good, bro. Always got time for my boys. Not bad yourself? Alright guys, so first warm up. So with the D handles, just want to grip them as hard as you can. I don't like to use the handles on the actual lateral machine. I do like to have my arms come out a little bit more. Pausing at the bottom, pausing at the top. None of this shit. I see so many people do that. We're trying to stimulate the muscle here. We're trying to grow hypertrophy, baby, not fucking swing the weight. Ego lifts. Something I've really started introducing is like trying to make every lift, every rep, I said this at the start of the video, as hard as I fucking possibly can. I don't want it to feel easy. Alright. My shoulders are pretty warmed up anyway. So with this one, like I was saying earlier, for the chest movements, we do 2 working sets. Now with the shoulders, because it's the only one within the push day, I'm doing 3 working sets. No intensifiers, nothing, 3 working sets. I'm gonna do a medium weight, a heavier weight second, and then last one, I'm gonna do a little bit lighter where we go a little bit higher rep range. All right, so the first working set.
Gotta work it out somehow. I made too many promises. I won't go back on them. No,
Pause.
girl, we gotta work it out right
Pause.
now. I swear
Nice and
I'll make
controlled.
you love again. I'll make you love again. If it's the last
Another thing there, guys, you want your first rep to look as close to, sorry, you want your last rep to look as close to as the first rep as possible. The only thing that should be changing within the last rep and the first rep is how long it takes you to do each rep. I don't want the last rep to look just like you're getting it up, you're not using the correct form, not the correct technique. Same technique, same form, just the only thing, you're gonna spend more time in the concentric, the up phase, and possibly less time in the eccentric. All right, so second set, guys, heavier weight, aiming for something between like 6 to 8 reps.
It's the last thing that I do. I make sure that I get make sure that I get through to
I'm not gonna lie, I feel like my last 2 reps was a bit more of a shrug than lateral.
My shot here was like
Perfect. Shoo. Right, it's piercing down outside. I think it's looking like a Netflix and chill session after this shit. There's absolutely nothing to do outside, fucking pissing down. Also, I just want to say a massive thank you to everybody that's sending me DMs on Instagram. That's where the majority of my content is. I do really want to start putting a lot more effort through YouTube and building this and growing this. But I just want to thank everybody that supports me, to all my clients. Thank you guys also once again just for instilling your trust in me and allowing me to help you guys with your fitness journey. It is honestly a fucking blessing, man. I look back 4 or 5 years ago when I first got into this, and where I'm at right now was literally like my end goal back then. It's a fucking humbling experience. It's a blessed experience, and I'm just thankful to everybody. Thanks, guys. All right, guys, so the last set, we're going lighter weight, like pretty light actually, a little bit of a high rep range. Really blow up these cannonballs. This one here, the form can drop off a little bit. You don't have to be as strict, as this is like just a blood flow. Pump as much blood into the shoulders as possible. And then at the end, when we do start failing, we'll start getting partials. So that's like the only time I really want to do that on purpose, is where like you can kind of drop off the form and just pump. Let the form off, technique drop off a little bit, and just pump as much blood to fill up that muscle that you're training. That is like the only time I would ever really do that, is when you're coming towards the end of the workout. You got majority of the quality work done, that's when you can get a little bit of a pump work and get some blood flow shit happening. So that's pretty much shoulders done. We did 3 sets. Now we move into 2 tricep movements, and then that concludes the push day chest focused. All right, guys, so we move into second last movement of the push day. we're going to be training the triceps, 2 movements. First one, cross cable, tricep extension, coming out wide. This is where we're going to be training the tricep in the short range. Making sure that the cable runs in line with the arm and not allowing our our elbow to move. Our elbow, pretend it's like stuck. There's a stake coming through from the floor to the ceiling. And as you see from my left hand, I'm still bracing. We want to get rid of as much stabilization as possible within every lift. So if I was doing like this, I'm having to engage so much more core. It's pulling me back. Like this, I lock out my arm, stabilization engaged from the arm. It's not moving me, my core doesn't have to be that engaged to stabilize me. And then I can just really focus on training the targeted muscle. So with accessory work, especially triceps, I do like to do a high rep range first, really pump the blood within it, and then I do a heavier weight for a lower rep range. So it's a little bit of a flip over. Last 2 reps, one more. So we trained the tricep in that short range. Now we're going to move into something overhead, training the tricep in a lengthen range. So with this one, you see a lot of people doing overhead tricep extensions and they're dropping it to the bottom. It's not needed, man. Unless you have the shoulder mobility to be able to get your arm that far back, it's really not needed. Position it somewhere just under shoulder height. Grabbing the cable. See how it's not too far down. I'm not having to have my arm all the way back here, which I don't really have the mobility for it. And we're coming straight forward. Training that tricep through the lengthen range. So when you fail, just hold that stretch, lengthen position. Loaded stretch, man. Fucking love these. This will absolutely burn. Step forward, bring that stretch. Fuck. And that, guys, is it. We did 2 sets with the overhead, 2 sets with the cross cable, cross body. Training this tricep first in that shorter position, then in that lengthened position. And that is it for the push day chest focus, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed that. If you guys did make it to the NTR, I appreciate you guys more than fucking words can explain. If you guys could just help me like the photo, like the video, comment down below what other things you'd like to see, and hit that subscribe button. It would be genuinely so appreciative for you guys. With that, ciao in the next video.